everyone. This is Ryan Ellis, and I'm very pleased to be joined by the LaRupin legendary Lee Canady. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Ryan. How you doing, man?
I'm alive. My lungs are drawing air, and my heart's pumping blood. So
hey, you alive?
praise God. Praise God. The 3 J's and a pure dose. The 3 J's: Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison. The 3 J's. There's a rumor because these 3 rock singers, rock players, died within a couple years of each other, all of drug overdoses. And there's a rumor that feds and the government thought that they had too outsized an influence on the youth culture, and so they decided to murder them. That's just one of those conspiracy theories. But either way, they all died of drug overdoses. And they say, there's an old saying, what's the easiest way to kill a junkie, a drug addict? Give them a pure dose of the drug that they take, and that usually does them in. And so some people think that a pure dose of barbiturates was given to Jimi Hendrix, a pure dose of heroin was given to Janis Joplin, and a pure dose of heroin was given to Jim Morrison, that, what killed them all. And I always think that if I ever die before my time, I suppose, it'll be from a pure dose of Detroit. I'm addicted to the city. This city I always say I do not love, but I'm learning slowly but surely to appreciate. I noticed that things are getting a little more dangerous now here in Detroit. As far as crime goes, I walk around with a camera, and I've been chased down the street by a homeless guy. I've been chased down several blocks by gangbangers. I told you earlier as we were driving. It's a crazy story. I have a lot of stories. A homeless guy tried to kill me with a rock, a little over a year ago. Broad daylight on Woodward Avenue here in Detroit, Midtown. I'll never forget it. Praise God I'm alive. Did you have any close calls, any brushes with almost near misses with death?
No, one time a guy came in the store, and I think I told you about it. We thought he was going to be at my employees, and I let them go home early, and he came back. He said, I'll be back by the time you close. So they went home early, and he came and looked in the window, and I waited 15 minutes later, and I looked out on the street. There was nobody on the street. So I walked towards my car, and my car was in the parking lot, and he came out of the restaurant and faced each other. We started circling each other. I thought he had a gun, and he thought I had one. If I pull my gun and shoot him, and he don't have no gun, then I'm going to jail. You see?
Yeah.
So if you brandish your gun, he gonna say, "Hey man, pull a gun on me," and they're gonna arrest me. So we circling each other, trying to wait like cowboys. He said, "I believe you got a gun, but it's only 22. I eat them motherfuckers." Like that. So anyway, he backed down. That's the close call I got.
Yeah.
That's the close call. And then another time when I really want to give it up, that I was in the store. One guy came in, stood by the door. And the other one was coming behind. He was going that way to get me in the crosswise. And I put my hand and said, "I'm closed." And they said, "I'm closed. Back out." And they went out of the store. And I got hot. And that's when time was bad. I was working by myself from 9 to when I closed, because thing was bad. So that's why I don't want to go back in the business. It ain't worth it, man. Because they're going to, and your own people to do it to you. And everybody want to talk. I don't play that,
Yeah.
So, no, I wouldn't go in business for nothing. There ain't no way in the world going to sit there and you're going to come in and take what I take, and I don't do anything. I'm going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to jail, so I don't want to do that. So you can only have so much. You can't take it with you. I live a good life. No worries.
I know I ask you often for wisdom for the folks at home, but never do I suggest the wisdom to give. But wisdom that Lee's been giving me lately was pick your battles. Live to fight another day.
That's right. Live to fight another day. Don't get into it with these people out here. Don't argue with them. try to debate him, don't try to show him he's right, he's wrong. Excuse me. You know, walk away. I don't talk to homeless people. You know what's, and I ain't keep on walking. You know, and white people make it bad. The homeless people come up to you, they eating downtown. Don't come ask me for no damn money while I'm eating. I don't want you standing over me.
Yeah, with bed bugs and
whatever you got. I don't want you standing over me. You understand what I'm saying? But what do? They go in their pocket and give him some money. I give him some food. So he gonna beg the next mother.
Oh, yeah.
So don't give him nothing. He out there, he ain't gonna be begging. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
He ain't down, he ain't nobody. Am I right?
It's like, don't feed the animals
at
the zoo.
And black people, and I said, and I got into it, I didn't get into it right here in Easter Market. A lady and a man was parking the car, and this homeless person out there, he couldn't know how to be homeless, you know, he just looked that way. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They want to look that way.
Yeah.
Turn here. Thank you to the Mercedes. Motherfucker ain't never had his hand on a Mercedes unless he's trying to steal something out of someone. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's trying to tell this man how to park. And this man get out and get out. I said, sir, that's what's wrong with this thing now. You feeding them. He's a white guy. Because it pissed me off for him giving shit. You understand what I'm saying?
That's the truth.
And you give it to him, then you going to go over and talk about down there, don't give him nothing.
Now, I suppose I have my reward at this point to say what I'm about to say, but I've tried to help the homeless here in Detroit for many years. I tried giving them food. I tried, I gave them socks for a long time. I'm like, a fresh pair of socks. And you know what I found? I found them all strewn all over the city. They would just take the socks and just throw them on the ground.
Well, you gave them to him.
And
if he appreciated it, he wouldn't be out there in the first damn place.
I'm not joking. I would find places that were hiring, and I'd say such and such, so and so, this place is hiring.
Well, see,
and I'd have homeless people say, I don't want a job.
Well,
I don't want a job.
Well, no. Why should they go on a job? You got to go there and stand and work all day when you go and beg, give people and give them shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about, man. Don't give them shit. When you start talking, you keep walking. Don't sit there and try, unless, you know, somebody, you know, just keep walking.
Did they have a lot of homeless population there in El Dorado?
No.
Compared to Detroit?
No, we know nobody homeless down there that we know anything about. You didn't hang on the street like that. Them people didn't say you didn't lay on the street like that. One police can go down and be all these people down here. One police, white police. Ain't nobody gonna f with him. He got 6 bullets. Ain't nobody gonna f with him.
Oh, down in El Dorado or here in Detroit?
In the El Dorado, you know, apparently black people, you can't stop what you talk to me. So you know how they do.
So when he came here to Detroit, was it a bit of a culture shock as far as the crime and homelessness? Was there homelessness and crime when he came in 1959?
There's always bombing. That's why I don't go to the east side. That's why I stayed in my lane. The east side was poor people. I didn't go to the east side. I lived on the west side. I told you that. But now east side, first time I lived on the east side, went in Paul's house. But he was living on Gratiot, the big houses in the village like that. You understand? Yeah. All east side ain't bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're on the east side, I don't go to the east side.
Yeah, there are always pockets of good everywhere.
That's right. That's right. That's all I'm saying. But it's always been that way. But I don't deal with it. I don't go in black neighborhoods. That's why I don't go to blues. I told you that. That's why I didn't sell blues. I don't want them kind of people in my store.
When you first came in 1958, you started the store in 1959. You closed the store in 1984. Mm-hmm. Did you notice a shift in the culture in those 25 years?
Oh, yeah.
What changed between
black down here? We didn't used to be all black. We had a lot of Jews, Italian downtown. You know, people can't speak English. I tell you this so far back that the older people, you know, Italian, they come in with a spit on the floor because they did that over there. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, culture. They brought it with them.
That's what I'm saying. They had bottles right behind my store, and I believe it belonged to the Purple Gang. Some of those people found a bottle out there, nobody did anything about it. The guy walked. You know, they looked like those gangsters. You know, and they couldn't speak much English. They look like they're Italians.
Yeah.
At that time. But it ain't like that now. I don't know one from another. I don't know what you are. I know you white. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I can just about tell Jewish by his dark eyebrows and dark something. And way they talk. But now people lose their thing.
More homogenized. The culture is
so
all the same.
Everybody's white. You white or black. I know for sure. You understand? I don't know what I know what a Mexican, I know what a Chinese, I know Japanese from Chinese.
Yeah.
You understand? I ain't into that. I just call people, you know. But so yeah, it was a lot different when it was a lot different when I came here, and it's changed now. Like I said, black people in the Easter market like it was then either. Most white people down here on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now black people every damn where.
You know, I speaking of old timers here in Eastern Market, I remember I talked to an old black gentleman maybe 5 or so years ago. He said, this is back in the 60s. He came over here. He grew up in Detroit, but he came over. He was on the west side, came over here on the east side looking for work in the market here.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a west side of Detroit dialect, and no one would hire him. And he found out quickly it was because of the way he talked. He told me he switched. He went to more of an east side dialect, which personally I don't even know what that would mean. And he said immediately he got work. Literally, West Siders and East Siders. It wasn't a color thing. It was a dialect thing. They didn't like each other back in the day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They discriminated in hiring one side of the city to the other. That's crazy.
No, I didn't know that.
You know, speaking of how things used to be so much more, everyone had their own culture back in the day, pre-internet time.
Yeah, they had their own culture. Now you can't tell that much like I did back in the day, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. C. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. I think we'll be good for today. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine.